It says we're live.
Excellent.
What I will do for a few minutes, Trevor, I'll just take away my take away that screen, and then I'll add it back in a second so that we can talk. How you doing?
It's been confirmed on Facebook that the video is live now. So over to you, Stuart.
Over to me. Heavens above, what on earth do I say at a point like this? So let me just pull up our branding, because we should have that on, shouldn't we? Our branding should be here. Just pull that up and pull it onto the screen, because it's always good to have that, and I can't currently find it, so it must be here somewhere. Where's our wonderful stuff that people like? There it is. There's the Sell More Stuff challenge. Okay, that's up and running, I believe. There we go. There's the Sell More Stuff challenge logo. So hello, Trevor. So
hello,
here
Stuart.
we are again.
Yep.
We're going to spend 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I think, talking about a couple of things today. One of the things I'm really keen to get your input onto is something that actually comes in, I think it's day 3 of the challenge, which is talking about the irresistible offer. I think this is a really key bit of the challenge, because I was trying to sort of explain this to somebody this morning, and I was saying that it's all very well having a nice bright shiny apple sitting in a fruit bowl. Unless you tell people it's there, unless you explain to them why they need to eat it, it's just going to sit there. So the irresistible offer needs to be one of those things where we once again go back to what we think about as our avatar, how that person's perceiving what their problems are, how we can help them solve it, and then offer them something to do it. I don't know if that's where you're coming from in terms of what an irresistible offer is all about.
Yeah, I think sometimes when we're speaking with clients, the word irresistible is misunderstood, or it's not given the importance that I believe it should get. As far as I'm concerned, headlines and irresistible offers are 2 key areas which we have to work on and work on and work on until we get them as best as possible. Obviously, the headline attracts you to the piece and hopefully gets you to read on, but the irresistible offer, if we can come up with the right one here, then that really starts the business process, in my view, Stuart.
You're absolutely right. And we've got a couple of people who've commented, hello, that's really good to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Listen, if you've got questions, post them and we'll answer them. But what I thought we'd spend the first 10 minutes doing is just talking about the irresistible offer, and then we can leap into answering any of the questions you've got. So Trevor, here we go. This is my little interpretation of what we're trying to talk about here. That's let's just get that up and running for you. So where are we with the irresistible offer? Well, the irresistible offer is here. It is here's you can see this is the core elements, and here's the irresistible offer. It's the one that's on one of the left hand side. This is all about your selling. You're now in sales mode rather than sort of marketing mode, if you like. So this is what it is, and this is what we're thinking about when we're trying to talk about this in the irresistible offer. Here is the formula for an irresistible offer. D plus S plus C is equal to the irresistible offer. So what does D stand for? D is desire. And I was sort of using the analogy just now about the fact that, if you've got a nice bright red apple, well, you need to sell the brightness and the redness of that apple to somebody who needs to eat an apple. The stimulator, we'll get onto what stimulator is in a moment, but a stimulator is trying to think about that fact that that apple is fresh. It's there now. But it won't be fresh in a week's time. It'll have gone off a little bit. And then C, the communicate, is all about trying to make sure that what you've got is well put together. Trevor, I don't know if you've got thoughts about that before I sort of go on and leap into what we're talking about in terms of desire and stimulators.
No, I like your analogy with the apple. I think that's very appropriate. But again, I think the crucial aspect is the D, the desire. That is really where this works or otherwise. So what we have to do is we have to create something that the reader thinks, I can't afford to miss this, and I need to do this now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I absolutely agree with you. And in fact, that's what we get onto when we're talking about desire. So what's in the desire? Well, the desire is all about aligning this to your target market avatar. Once again, that's getting back into the foot, the feet, the shoes of the person you're talking to and selling to, your prospect, and thinking, what is it they're thinking at the moment? There used to be a thing in marketing where we talked about interrupting. You need to get into their space and understand what they're thinking about. And as well, I think the other thing you need to do is use lifetime customer value, because one of the things that I was talking to a customer about this morning, as I was talking to them about the fact that they were targeting things and they were going, well, it's going to cost me so much to market to that person. And I went, yes, but if you think about it, if you manage to market to them and you keep them for 2 years, you've already halved your cost of customer acquisition. So just thinking about it like that. And indeed, if they buy one thing this year and one thing next year, you might well find that your cost of acquisition drops from 1 to 1 to 1 to 4. So you can really sort of think seriously about whether or not you're spending enough on making things look desirable and are working for you, because you're not thinking long enough term. And then you need to add sort of bonuses and huge value into that desire to differentiate it. And, as with all of these things, make it so it's just too good an offer to refuse.
Absolutely. And once we understand the importance of the desire aspect, Stuart, could you give us some examples of what you would think of using to create this desire?
Yeah, well, look, going back into the to the target market, and I'm going to do what we do with some of my customers. We're doing this thing that we occasionally do called a scientific marketing makeover, and I'm going to sort of take you through one of those in a minute. But the desire is, well, okay, the traditional thing. You don't want an apple until you're hungry. So how do you go about making sure that what you're thinking about is what the customer's current pain points are, what your avatar's pain points are? So trying to sell something to someone that isn't actually hungry is tell them an apple when they're not hungry is not as easy as waiting until you know they're hungry. So with desire, I think it's all about partly timing. It's about making sure you understand where they are in their business growth, where they are in their journey, and making sure that they're absolutely ready for the offer that you're trying to give to them.
Absolutely. And I think then what we have to do is to ensure that our irresistible offer, as you mentioned earlier, caters for this hunger.
Yeah, absolutely right, Trevor. Let me just take you on now to the sort of the next thing, which is all about the stimulation. And the stimulation is the thing that I think we think so little about. The desire is really there, but listen, it's all very well saying to somebody, here's the offer, but you've got to make them move and stop the procrastination, because people will stop and look at something and go, yeah, I really like that, but I'll get it next week. Now, particularly true now at a time when we've got lots of uncertainty, we have to get people to start thinking about how they apply this to their businesses now, because we need to start acting as soon as we possibly can without thinking too deeply about sort of what's the risk to me. Buyer's remorse is so around us. So put deadline dates on things, limited availability. It's something I've just done this morning. I've done a mail out to a number of my prospects, and I basically said, the offer is available for me to work with you for the next month. I'm offering it during lockdown. I'm not going anywhere after that month. I still want to work with them, but I want to get them moving now, because otherwise they'll sit and they'll wait for as long as they possibly can, and that's not helpful for their businesses. They have to get their business moving now.
Yeah, and sometimes depending on what your irresistible offer is, I mean, like obviously it could be something like a free trial or a free discussion with you, or a 15-minute interview or whatever. I think what you want to do then is if you can tag on some extra value to that. So like maybe your consultation is maybe £50 for example, but if you do it within the next 24 hours, I'll do it at a discount or free. Something which will continue to add value to make sure irresistible offer is irresistible.
Quite right, Trevor. Quite right. Okay, well, as I promised you, sort of, this is the sort of thing I do with my clients. I don't know if it's the sort of thing you do with your clients. I take each month, I take one of their pieces of marketing and I sort of tell them and work with them to improve it. Now, this is actually a piece out of one of my clients' newsletters. And he sent me this and he sort of said, can you tell me, do you think this adds everything? So I said, well, okay. There were a couple of things that I commented to him on this, and I sort of took it and said, well, first thing, you've put it as finally. It's something that's supposed to be irresistible. Put it further up in your newsletter. It's almost the sort of thing that should come right at the very top, or if you want to, mention it at the top and then bring it back in at the bottom, but certainly don't sort of bury it away so at the point where you've got to get all the way down to the bottom of your newsletter before you actually get to the end. Now, I was pleased to see that one of the things he had done on this, he basically said, is only available for a particular time. And that was a great thing. But the other thing that I said to him that I thought was he needed to do was, yes, he made this, but he didn't make it easy for customers because I had to bring this newsletter with them. Now, some of them may have forgotten it. Some of them might not have remembered and seen this properly and wouldn't bring it. I said, don't make it difficult for somebody to take up your irresistible offer. Waymish again, why are you making it so hard? Make it easy for somebody to get your irresistible offer and make it really, really easy for them to sort of to attack onto it. So I sort of took this and sort of we walked it through. He'd obviously got this offer on these socks. It was clear that it was just in August. It was clear it was only in two places. But I did actually say, I think you can do more to make this irresistible offer really irresistible. And it's around that sort of desire, as you put it earlier, Trevor. It's also about the communicating it. Is it really clear what they've got to do? I didn't think it was as clear as it could be, but because he had the opportunity to work with me and get some feedback, he really managed to improve this and he was able to put this out. In fact, when I reviewed it with him a month or so later, he'd got 3 people that had taken this irresistible offer up. Now that's okay, it's only 3 people, but actually he's got a newsletter list which is really quite small at the moment. He's just growing it. So I said 3 people out of the number he got. That's pretty good because there were other offers within here and they'd actually taken up those offers. Do you do this sort of thing with your customers, Trevor?
Yes, very much so. And I find, as I say, that's what I mentioned earlier, that we spend a lot of time going through the headlines, but we also spend a lot of time going through the irresistible offer. I mean, for example, if I was to say, right, I'm giving £100 away to the first 10 people who contact me in the next hour, I'm pretty sure I would get a lot of people contact me because that's fairly irresistible. Well, we're not asking you to give £100 or £10 or anything away, but we're actually asking you to delve as deeply as possible so you come up with the best irresistible offer that you can, that people are going to say, yep, I need that and I need that now.
Yeah, and I'm just noticing there are somebody that's asked the question, will this be posted on Facebook later? And the answer to that is these are all recorded. They'll all be available to you later on.
Yes, and as I just see, there's Dennis is there and John's there, Lucy's there. Guys, if you've got any question, please put them up because you've got the perfect opportunity now to use Stuart or myself, and hopefully we can answer these.
Yeah.
But anyway, Stuart, you continue on with the presentation.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, so just, recapping on where we were with that, let's just go back over what we said. The irresistible offer success formula, it's desire plus stimulator plus communicate. That's the irresistible offer. This is taken straight out of the workbook that you get for the Sell More Stuff Challenge. It's a brilliant checklist, guys. Use these checklists because this is the real value behind that Sell More Stuff Challenge. This checklist is what you should put on your desk the day you start working on this. You go through it before you finalize it. Is the offer aligned to your target market avatar profile? You've got to understand your avatar. You've got to understand the person who is most likely to buy your stuff. If you don't know that, you cannot get your irresistible offer right. That's just stage 1. Think about those lifetime customer value propositions. You might think you're giving away something which is really valuable, but if it brings that customer back 2, 3, 4, 5 times, if it ends up meaning that they stay with you 2 years, you might have given away quite a lot in the first year, but 2, 3, 4 years later and they're still buying, it reduces the initial upfront cost if you spread it across that period of time they're buying with you. What bonuses can you add to make the offer more desirable? Get a tick in that box. When you look at it, just step back and ask yourself, is this too good an offer to refuse? If it is, great. If it's not, you need to rework it. You really need to think about it. You need to put yourself back in the avatar's shoes. You need to think about what they're thinking. Make sure you use a stimulator, deadline date, limited quantities, using the lockdown as a great period now for us to do that. And then really make it clear. As I said, when I worked through with my customer and sort of said, is it clear what they've got to do? It was a little bit fuzzy. It wasn't entirely clear that they had to bring the newsletter with them, or indeed if they had the newsletter, what would happen if they didn't? It wasn't too clear. Make it dead easy. Don't make it hard for your customers to engage with you. It's an absolute travesty if you do. Trevor, I don't know. That's what I was going to say. I don't know what you think.
No, I think they're all excellent points, and it's a very good checklist, and we have to go through it. But out of them, perhaps I think the one that is misunderstood is the lifetime customer value.
Yes, you're right.
A lot of my clients would look at it and say, well, I can't do this because this is costing me money. And I'm saying, well, what you're looking at is the overall lifetime of this customer. And if you actually have, say you're giving them a free book, obviously what you're doing there is there's a cost to you, but you're trying to attract them, build a relationship, and have them come back and purchase goods from you, where you're going to recover any initial cost. So I think it's quite important that whenever you're looking at your irresistible offer, in fact, it's crucial, is that you look and take note of the lifetime customer value.
Yeah, absolutely, Trevor. I think you're absolutely right. Too often we think too short term, don't we? We think about how we can act today, which will benefit us today. But sometimes we just need to take a step back and say, I'm trying to develop a relationship with a customer that lasts 1, 2, 5 years, and sometimes the costs you put in today pays back enormously in years and months to come. Whereas too often we're just there thinking, let's just get it over and done with and get the money in quick. Yes, it's important to get money in quick, but it's also important to think about how long you'll be with that customer and what that customer will be buying for you in the future.
Yes, and I think also at this stage, it's once you put all the work in to get in your market piece, the communication of it is essential. There's no point in doing this work and getting it as well as you can without letting people know. And that moves into different types of marketing. It could be you maybe do a direct mail or maybe an email or letter or whatever, but you have to communicate it. It's a numbers game in certain ways, because the more people you get out within your target market, the more response you'll get and the better you'll
couldn't agree with you more, Trevor. Couldn't agree. Listen, guys, if you've got any questions, now's the time to post them. I don't want to keep you from your lunch. I know, we're all busy, but we're here as a resource for you to use. We're here to answer any questions you might have. If you've got questions about what's going on in your Sell More Stuff challenge, or if you've got questions about what happens afterwards, and I think it's just worth sort of recapping some of what happens afterwards. 5 days is a great start to your marketing, but after the 5-day challenge, that vault that you've had access to has got so much more in it. There is a lifetime's worth of learning and experience that people like Steve has put into it, that we're all getting very familiar with, that we want to help you to sort of really explore. You don't stop after 5 days. Your business building, your business growth continues, and there are many, many more things that you can dive into in that core asset that will allow you to sort of continue to develop your business.
Yeah, and whenever you mention about the core asset, there are so many examples. There are so many templates. There is so much information there for you to use. All you've got to do is change the names and the addresses. It saves you so much time, but puts you in a position where you are ready to go and tackle your market and communicate this in a very short space of time, a lot less than you would if you ever tried to create these templates yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Trevor. When I look back as when I started out building my business and started to sort of pull together templates, they would take so long, because you try one and you test it and it wouldn't quite work, and then you try again and you test it and it wouldn't quite get the results you want. All of that testing's been done in the core asset. You just dive in, pull your names out, and you're gone.
Yeah, that's an excellent point we just haven't touched on, but you brought it there into the equation, Stuart, is the testing of it. It's a bit like a headline. I mean, you'll do your best, you'll come up with what you think is best for this particular marketing piece, and you'll do the same with your irresistible offer. But what you need to do then is you need to test it. So if you're keeping the piece similar or the same, but maybe test a different irresistible offer, and you test and judge and get which one of these is best. And then you add another irresistible offer and test that against the one you found was best, and work down the line towards you have something which is the best.
Yeah, agree. Testing is so important in this, isn't it, Trevor? You know, if you're not testing, you're probably doing yourself a disservice.
Very much so. And as I say, and I think you did mention it, and I agree with you. This part of the challenge, the Sell More Stuff challenge, is all about using the 9 core elements to the best of your ability. And when you're going through it, perhaps during the challenge, it can run past you very quickly. So these question and answer sessions are an ideal opportunity for you to pop a question or even come up and just listen to us. And as Stuart has indicated today, the irresistible offer is so important. And the more you find out about it, the more you use it, the better.
I've just seen a question that's come up from Dennis, and he says, are all the templates in words into riches? So I'm not too sure what you're referring to there, Dennis. Most of the templates that are within the vault certainly are in Word template form, Word form, so that you can very quickly adapt them for yourself. And I've done this. You don't have to have Word installed upon your machine. You can open up Word documents in other things that you can get, either things like Google Docs or from there are some free word processors, so you don't have to have Word installed if you don't want to do it. So you can certainly pull them off, use them quite easily, and none of them are difficult to adapt. They're all there and available for you.
Yeah, the templates actually are within the relevant sections and the core asset vault for the particular element that you're looking at. I see Michelle has joined us. I haven't seen Michelle on before, so just like to welcome Michelle. Just to let her know that we do this every Thursday at 12:30 p.m. and also on a Monday evening at 7 p.m. So please join us. As Stuart has said already, there'll be a recording if you've missed the start of it. So you're more than welcome to look at the recording. And please join us and join our community and ask your questions. And we look forward to that, Michelle.
Yeah, Dennis, I think what you're talking about is the transform into riches for you. I believe they are all the templates are there. So yes, Trevor, now if I remember rightly, and I don't want to put you on the spot if you're not quite ready yet, but let's just do that. So the way that we do these things is that the host today is joined by a co-host, and that co-host gets the pleasure of being the host next time. So where are you taking us on Monday evening, Trevor? Have you got some thoughts already, or are you just waiting for people to sort of give you your ideas?
Yeah, I mean, I think the next stage in the process, which is the features and benefits, I think we should move into that one. We all are very good at getting features. We're not just as good as turning them into benefits.
What a great topic.
And then the secret is adding the emotion to it.
Oh, so, Trevor, you've got a wealth there on Monday evening. What a great topic.
We'll perhaps look at, we'll maybe select a feature, and we'll turn it into the best benefit we can, and then perhaps, or we will then add emotion to it, so that we give you an example of one of these, and then you can go and have your own work and develop as many of those as is within your product or service.
Well, guys, if that hasn't teed you up for excitement on Monday evening, I don't know what will. That's I love that topic, because for me, we are really far too good at talking about the features of our products or services. We just forget how to turn those into benefits. And it's very easy to turn a feature into benefit. There's a very good checklist, once again, in the Sell More Stuff Challenge workbook. There's a really great way of doing it. And if you're not familiar with doing it, Trevor's a great guide to take you through how to turn a feature into a benefit. Because I know that, as business owners, we're really familiar with our features. What we're not so familiar with is how we make that as a benefit for the person we're talking to. Trevor, that's a really great topic. I'm looking forward to that enormously.
Yes, and I'm going to be a challenge to Michelle as well, because as I say, I think it's the first time. So Michelle, join us on Monday at 7 p.m. It's myself as the host and Lucy, another of the 4 mentors, will be co-hosting, and we look forward to seeing a question from you and see if we can answer to your satisfaction.
Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. Look, guys, we're coming towards the end of our time. I don't want to keep everybody on this call for hours and hours and hours. So, if you've got a question, post it. If you've not, I hope you've enjoyed the discussion about us talking about what the irresistible offer is. I'm more than happy to just throw back up onto screen. Here's that checklist. Look, if you're thinking about your irresistible offer, you need to think about how you make it desirable, to stimulate it and communicate it. Use this checklist. This checklist is so good at being able to just very quickly, succinctly get you to think about what you've done when you've put together an irresistible offer. Has it met all of the ticks on there? If you've got something missing, go back, rethink it. If you've got questions, Trevor, myself, Dudley and Lucy are the other 2 sort of mentors who work on this. We're available to answer any of the questions you might have throughout the week. So don't feel you've only got to wait until Monday. If you've got a question tomorrow or over the weekend, throw it up on Facebook and we'll get to it. We'll answer it and we'll let you know whether or not you're going in the right direction. And we're more than happy to help you do that. So I'm gonna sort of start to bring us to a bit of a pause now, Trevor, because we're sort of getting towards when lunch should be taken by everybody. If you haven't eaten by now, guys, you really need to go and get some food. There's absolutely nothing wrong with eating. It's really quite good for you, I'm told. So, Trevor, anything further you want to say before we sort of bring this to a close and sort of allow us to go and get ourselves something to eat?
No, thank you very much, Stuart. I'll be envious of you if you're getting some meat, because I have a client appointment here at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to have to love you and leave you, and wish you all a very, very good day, and look forward to seeing and speaking with you again on Monday evening.
Yeah, no problem, Trevor. Well, you enjoy that. You enjoy that client call, and hopefully I'll speak to you or I'll see you on Monday evening when you're going to be giving us some really great insights into that features and benefits.
Super. Thank you, Stuart.
No problem.
Bye for now. Bye-bye.
Thanks. I'm just going to move Trevor out the way there and allow him to go off and do his business. We've got just a minute or 2 left, so I'll just stay here for a minute. Anybody has got any questions they want to sort of post in, I'm more than happy to answer them. Other than that, what we'll do is we'll bring it to a close today. We'll talk again on Monday evening. If you've got further thoughts or anything, just post them either into this thread or somewhere else in Facebook. We'll get to it. We'll answer it. We're more than happy to try and answer your questions and help you move your business forward and build it. So we're here. We're a resource, just like the core asset. Let us help you. Okay. Unless there's anything else, guys. Really appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking to you on Facebook. Look forward to seeing you again at one of these sessions on Monday or again next Thursday lunchtime. In the interim, please use us. And if you need to develop your understanding of the core asset more, I tell you, after the 5 days is over, your business doesn't stop building. Please take it further. Okay, let's bring us pretty much up to the 1 o'clock mark. We're a couple of minutes short. I'm going to bring us to an end and hope that you've all enjoyed yourselves. Any further, you just let us know, and we're here to help you. Good afternoon, and I'll speak to you again very soon.